weird. Just finished a workout and I'm just full of endorphins and everything that I need to talk about this. So I just wanted to get live, wanted to jump on. So I've been dealing with a manipulative mother for the past 33 years, I would say. But when I was old enough to understand what was going on, maybe 15. So for the last 16 years, I've dealt with a mom that manipulated me into believing her feelings, her emotions, her situation, her tragedy, her anything, her health, anything to get me to believe that she is in a position that she cannot control and she needs help. And if I didn't help her, then she would lose her home. She would lose her house. She wouldn't have electricity. She wouldn't have food. Her heart might stop. Any of these. And I'm not saying these examples to be dramatic. These examples are exactly what my mom used to manipulate me. And today I broke up with my mom. It sounds so weird to say because it is. I broke up with my mom, and she made me angry. And I just come to realize that everyone in my fucking life, everyone in my family is just a bunch of manipulators, okay? And I just kind of want to go through what's going through my mind right now. When I was 15, I got my first job at Fazoli's. I got my first job at Fazoli's working with my best friend. It was so cool. 15, I had my own money. Well, the entire year that I worked there, my mom took my check. My mom took all my money, so it was literally working for nothing. She said it was because I needed to help her pay rent and help pay for the roof over my head. I was 15. But okay, that's fine. There was never like a stable man father figure in my life. And my mom always used that against me. Even just now when I was trying to have a conversation with her, she told me she blamed having me. She said, well, your father was never there. Your father didn't help you. Your father didn't raise you. I raised you. Okay, well, me knowing why my father was in jail, it's because he was a cocaine trafficker. So why is that my fault that you made the decision 33 years ago to run with a guy who was a cocaine trafficker? How is that my fault? I don't understand, but okay. I was 15. My mom took my money. I was 16. I got a different job. My mom took my money. I was 17. I got a job at Walmart working with my mom when I was 17. And up until I was 18, my mom cashed my checks for me. Against my own will, she would take my checks to a check cashing place. I don't know how or why they let her cash the checks, but she cashed my checks there every single time until I was 18. And I said, Mom, quit taking my paychecks. Actually, I had to tell the people at the front desk who was handing out paychecks. I had a paper check because I wasn't allowed to have a bank account for some reason. I'm not sure what the reason was at that time, but I wasn't allowed to. So my mom would always take my checks, and the people at the front knew me and knew my mom, so they never really thought anything of it. I was told to never address any kind of situation. So when I was 18, I politely asked them to please quit giving my check to my mother. I was 18. I'm legal now, right? Oh, fuck yeah, legal. Well, my mom, continued to take my checks when I was 18. I was already done with school, right? Graduated high school. I was 17, and I was 17 when I got done with school, obviously, and then I decided to go to college, and I paid for my own college. I applied for these grants. I did what I had to do to help myself, because I knew that my mother wasn't going to be able to pay for my college, My mom didn't even have enough stability in her own household to even make her rent or pay her car note. And this was when I was 17. This is about 16 years ago. This is about half of my life. Okay, half of my life. And I went to school. I went to art college for a semester, and then I realized I couldn't continue my art passion because I didn't have the money to continue to go. I just couldn't pay the tuition. So I decided to sign up for the National Guard when I was 18. I was 17. No, I was 18. I don't know how old I was. I think I was 18. I signed up for the Army National Guard. And because I wanted something better for myself. I was tired of saying that and then realizing that I'm in the exact same fucking position that I was in 16 years ago. And I'm just fucking done. And so I wanted a better life for myself. I didn't want to be stuck with my mom and, never having a college education, being stuck at a shitty job. And I just saw how much my mom struggled, and I didn't want that. I didn't want that for myself. So I joined the Guard. And my mom told me that I was going to, murder innocent children. And I was a piece of shit. And I would never make it. And going to college, I should go to a real college, because going to an art college means that you're worthless, right? Okay? So so I finally moved out, right? I moved out. After I went to basic training, I came back home. I made it through. Surprisingly, I don't know how I made it through, given how fragile I was, but I did. I came back, and the entire time I was in basic training, I paid my mom's rent too, and her car note. My mom, when I went to basic training, before I went, I told her, I don't want to live with you anymore. I want to move out. And that was before I went to basic training. So my mom moved out, and my mom moved in with her mom. Okay? My mom had to move in with her mom because she was so financially unstable, where she couldn't continue without my support. That should have been the first. I was so young, I didn't know what to think at that time. But I came home, and I, moved into a new place and started living my life. Paid my mom's rent while I was in basic training. Helped pay her car note. And my grandma at the time, my grandma was the one who like convinced me that it wasn't my job to take care of my mom anymore. You know, I never thought about that until just now, but my grandma was always, she always had my back. And she fucking knew. My mom has been manipulating people all her fucking life. And you know, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm going through my timeline right now, but whatever. If you don't want to listen, just don't watch, I guess. I was 18 and I came back home and started living my life and went to school, and I also work full time. It's like I've hustled my entire fucking life, and I've never asked my mom for anything. Nothing was ever given to me. And I worked for what I had. But my mom was always there. She was always there if, you know, whenever something happened, or like she lost her job, or her boss does her wrong. She's always quick to contact me. And I guess it's always been me. I've always been the one who said yes, or who could help, because I was always the one. I was always the one who like had a full-time job, had a stable life, had extra money people saw, because I was able to, you know, buy a new car or something. People always just took advantage of me with my money, and using my just using me all the time. And I realized that years ago, and I cut off family years ago, because they're also grown and they're older than me. I'm the youngest one, so why is it always me? Why? Everything is just falling onto me. And I always used to ask myself, like, why me? Why does it have to be me? Why am I having to deal with this bullshit? Why me, right? And last week, my therapist asked me, or 2 weeks ago, I said, you know, I'm really trying to rebuild my relationship with my mom. I want to have some sort of relationship with my mom. And he asked me, well, does your mom want to change? Does your mom want to rebuild that relationship with you? No one's ever asked me that. And I never thought of it. But clearly the answer is no. And that, I think when he asked me that, it kind of just opened up my fucking eyes to what is going on with my mom, and just how she's just manipulated me my entire life. And I don't know why. It's not that I just realized it, but I've realized how much she puts me in a fucking spiral, in a manic spiral, and makes me feel like I'm fucking going mad. Okay, she makes me feel like I'm going mad, because her stories are not lining up, and I've just become to realize, like, my entire fucking life has been like this. And my mom, if you know, the classic storybook, the classic textbook version of manipulation is this. The person who's manipulating you will come to you with a very urgent, and this is just my mom, but I'm pretty sure this is textbook manipulation, but she will come with an emergency, and come to me with urgency, and at the very last minute, and if something isn't done, something tragic is going to happen. Okay? And then I see that, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, let me help you. I don't want you to, whatever is going to happen, I just want to help you. So here, let me give you some money to help alleviate that situation. Here's some money so you can go feed yourself. Here's some money so you can pay your rent and your car note. Here it is so you don't lose it. And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden the communication is gone. Oh, she no longer needs my help anymore. So what's the benefit to her to text me and try to communicate with me or have a decent conversation? No. She does not come to me unless she needs money. And my mom just, she will use everything and anything and everyone to shift blame regarding her situation. My mom just, I'm done. And I'm officially just like broken up with my mom. The same shit happened with my oldest sister. My second oldest sister was like addicted to heroin and was making all these bad, terrible choices, and same tactic, same thing. She would call me and say, Cora, I really need $50 to pay this medical bill, or I need $50 so I can go to the little clinic and get a shot because I have the flu, or I need $50 because I need to buy dinner for my kid. I need to buy uniforms for my kid. I need it right now. And then I would just send it to her. Well, come to find out, she had a huge heroin problem. I sent her to rehab, and then she pitted my other sister who was helping her. She pitted her against me. And so now I'm the bad guy because I stopped supporting you and I stopped enabling you. That's cool. I have another sister who's also like a heroin trafficker. So it's just, all this shit is when I stop supporting, when I stop enabling, I'm the bad guy, and I'm just so sick of it. Just so sick of it. I haven't heard from my mother in a week since last week. And last week she told me that she made up this big fucking story. This entire story was fabricated, and I still don't know how the pieces all fit together. But a month and a half ago, she told me that she would get fired from Kroger if she, her boss threatened to fire her from Kroger. And she, of course, called me upset, very manic, and just, what do I do? Oh my God, they're treating me wrong, which is like really shitty. It was really shitty. And it convinced me to get involved, because how are you going to tell someone that working at Costco is a conflict of interest? That doesn't make sense to me, especially since she worked for a third company. I don't know, it didn't make sense to me, but I was pissed. Okay, I was pissed, and so now I'm invested. Okay, so we came up with a plan. We came up with a plan for her to quit Kroger's, but also use up her PTO time and everything that she can get out of them before she quits, because that's more beneficial for her and she would get paid out, right? We had a whole plan. And then the next day she tells me, oh my God, the guy that was going to hire me for the other job said I can't get the job because I don't have a GED. Okay? So that's a huge fucking problem, right? It's a huge fucking problem. So if we don't fix that problem of you having a GED, then you're not going to be able to get any other jobs. This is already a low entry job, and you can't even get into that. Okay, let's get you a GED. And at this point, I was very civil, I was very nice, I was very supportive, and I wanted to help her. So I found all these things for her. And the next day, she tells me that she quit Kroger. She quit. So she completely just abandoned the whole plan. Okay, fine, whatever. You quit. She got this virtual interview with this job. Because now all of a sudden, the manager who told her she couldn't get this job because she doesn't have a GED, now all of a sudden there's a workaround. Okay, there's a workaround. So now all of a sudden she can actually apply. She can get it. she can interview. So she got a virtual interview request, like screening or whatever. That link expired, so that caused some drama. She didn't get it again for like another couple of days, and then she interviewed. And I went through the whole process with her, like set her up with her mobile device for the interview and all this bullshit. And she made it through. She made it through to an in-person interview, right? Right? Wow, Mom, this is so great. This is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. Like, I was so supportive and just proud. I was proud of my mom for the first time in my life. Okay? So we have everything in place. She goes to interview. She goes to do an in-person interview. And she tells me that day, oh my God, guess what? Oh my God, they're going to hire me. This is great. Oh my God, this is great. I'm laughing because all this shit's fucking made up in my head. Okay? Not in my head, but in my head, all of this is made up. Like, it's a whole fucking fabricated story. Okay? Just to, I don't know why. I don't know why she would make it up. So she got the job. She got the job 2 weeks ago. Almost 3 weeks ago. And she was supposed to start her job last week. And this is where shit gets crazy. This is where it gets crazy. On Monday night, Tuesday, it dawned to me, wait, I haven't heard from my mom in like 5 days. That's strange. Because remember the pattern, she always texts me whenever anything goes wrong. She gets a letter in the IRS. She gets a letter in the mailbox that's from the IRS saying that her identity is going to be stolen or something. Her toenail is torn, so she thinks she has gangrene in her toenail. Her toenail is going to fall off. Oh my God, she needs her medicine, otherwise her toe's going to fall off. Oh my God, my identity is going to be stolen. Who the fuck are they, like, what are they going to steal? Nothing. So, I haven't heard from her. And she texts me on Tuesday. I get a text back from her on Tuesday morning, and she said, yeah, the guy never sent me a drug test, so I never did it. And I haven't heard from him. And I just got an email this morning thanking me for interviewing, and they chose somebody else. They decided to move forward with another hire. That's strange, because that's very strange, because you told me 2 weeks ago that you got the job. So for those like 3 days that you didn't follow up and you didn't like ask for the drug test. You just kind of sat around, but now you don't have a job? That's very strange. That's weird. Okay, so so she went from not having a job. She called me back and she said, oh, I just heard from Mike, and Mike told me that email was an automated email and it was a mistake. Oh, that's strange. This is I looked up the job posting online, and this is a very well-known staffing agency. Doesn't make sense to me that they would just forget to do something that's like automated. Doesn't make sense to me that they just won't communicate with each other. It's pretty strange. It's strange. Your stories aren't matching up. And then she calls me again, and now all of a sudden she has a full-time job opportunity at Costco, where she was working before, or she still continued working. She was temporarily, I guess, like part-time working. So now she has a full-time job at Costco. Interesting. Okay. That about ended the conversation. She started yelling at me and basically saying, well, since you're saying that I'm a grown person and I need to get my shit together, I guess I'm gonna go get my shit together. I'm like, okay, great. And I hung up. And I haven't heard from her in a week until this morning. And this is when technically, I guess I broke up with my mom this morning. I blocked her. So, thank you, James, for suggesting that. I blocked her. I blocked her after my mom started blaming me for my father's death and started blaming me for being born. She said, well, I raised you because your father wasn't around. Oh, so that's my fault. That's my fault that I was born. It's my fault that you made the decision to be with a drug trafficker. That's my fault. Okay, got it. 16 years, I guess we're even. I guess you can call it even. I'm just done. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done with liars. I'm done with manipulators. I'm done. I'm done with being taken advantage of trying to extend my olive branch and just getting burned. And I'm so glad that I woke up. 16 years I supported my mom. 16 years I paid my mom's rent. I paid for my mom's car note. I bought my mom a car and she crashed it and didn't tell me until she bought a new car, which was double the price of the current car note. That was the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back when I left Tennessee. And I wish I would have just stopped the communication there. I wish this was sooner, but hey, like, I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm awake and I understand what's going on. I don't even know how to speak anymore. I just wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys about what it looks like to be manipulated by your mom, or by anybody. They will start with some kind of tragedy, and then they'll add a sense of urgency on it, and then add on a little bit of guilt if you say no. And if you don't act on it, then something bad will happen to them. And so you do it once, they know that they can come back to you because you're nice and you're supportive. You don't want to see your family suffer, but the more that you help, the more that you're going to suffer, and the more that they're going to suffer. And I set my boundaries today. I blocked her. I said some probably pretty mean things, but I told her to write down my number. So this is so fucked up, but I told her to write down my number so the nurse knows who to call. That's pretty fucked up, but hey, I learned that shit from my mom. I'm not proud of it, but at least I know when to use it and how to set boundaries. So, sorry to my mom, I guess. I'm no longer here for you. I'm no longer going to be here for her. It's not your fault that you were born. Okay? It's not your fault that you're a child and you have a mother that is incapable of taking care of you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you were sexually assaulted, that your stepfather tried to rape you when you were 13. It's not your fault. And it's not your fault that it took you so many years to realize the amount of abuse that you've been through and how much is affecting you. And it's not your fault. You're not selfish for taking care of yourself. You're not wrong for setting boundaries. Anyways, it's fucked up, man. The past is the past, and now I'm glad that I have therapy, and I'm proud of myself for being as strong as I am. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot for someone to set boundaries, and especially with family. It's a pretty, I mean, I would say it's pretty easy to set boundaries with strangers you don't know. It's hard to set boundaries with family. You know, when you set boundaries, I feel like a lot of people, to me, whenever I've set boundaries, I've been painted as like the bad person, painted as the bad guy, because I quit enabling you, and so now I'm the bad person. And I struggled with that a lot. I struggled with guilt of like deciding not to help my mom for the longest time. This isn't the first time, but this is the final time. It's the final time. How do I turn this off?